Hi, students, and welcome to our math lesson today. It's December 8th, and our Do Now asks us to respond to a prompt about different kinds of anger. Not the most pleasant thing to talk about it, but talking about it sometimes helps us recognize the subtleties and the kinds of anger and helps us to understand anger and then maybe control our anger. Our objective will be to work on mixed number multiplication, and our essential question is, how do I handle mixed numbers when I multiply? Remember, we're going back and forth a little bit between division and multiplication of fractions because they are so similar, and it keeps our skills sharp to keep practicing those before we move into exponents as our next topic in a few days. So we want to think about, how do I convert a mixed number to an improper fraction? We've done this before, but practice makes perfect. We put it down for a while, we come back later, we practice again, and we become experts. So for our assignment today, we'll watch the video on mixed number multiplication, and we'll complete the worksheet. And remember, try some of these on your own, but keep the video on so you can check your work as you go. Students, you don't want to do a whole page of problems and have them be incorrect and then have to go back and fix everything. And meanwhile, you're teaching your brain kind of the wrong way to do something. So just do a couple at a time on your own. Look at the video. If you're getting it, great, good for you. And I know you will. Our exit ticket today, I want you to complete this sentence. When I multiply mixed numbers, it is best to convert the mixed numbers to blank before I blank and blank, and we will talk about this. And remember, I want you either to show your work on the camera at the end of the class, or you can take a photograph and turn it in. Many students have uploaded Teams on their phones. If you have one, that's an option for you. It's pretty easy to take a picture with your phone and then just upload it right into Teams or right into an email. For homework, just finish up anything that we didn't get finished in class. So remember, for full participation credit, because I know a lot of you like to be A students, we want your camera on during our discussion and at the end, just to say goodbye. It's just a matter of courtesy. We want to really remember we are an educational family, a school family. Please respond when I call your name, and I could call on you at the beginning or the middle or at the end of the period, and show your work on camera or send a photo, as I said, at the end of the period. And there's my email. Remember, tomorrow is Wednesday. Look for your Wednesday assignment. So I try to find these fun little things to talk about. So this is one of those obscure national holidays, and I found this silly photo. Today is Pretend to be a Time Traveler Day. And I challenge you to actually tell one of your other teachers that Mrs. Gold said this and have a little fun with it. These are just made up holidays that people make them up to promote their products or promote a movie, or maybe there's a group that gets their holiday recognized. They're just for fun. But anyway, I'm suggesting that you travel ahead to your next report card and make some positive predictions. Are you headed in the right direction? And you know what direction that is. Up, up, up. So, Time Traveler Day, happy Time Traveler Day to everybody. Look forward to positive outcomes and a great report card. Travel forward and see it happen. Or do now today. As I said, we would explore some subtle differences between emotions. Now, you have this idea of anger, and anger can be selfish, which is like a temper tantrum, like my 2-year-old grandson when he doesn't get something he wants more ice cream or anything. And instead of saying, trying to make a really valid argument, I really think I should have that ice cream because I've been a really good boy and, I love ice cream. And no, he's 2 years old. He's just going to start whining and having a temper tantrum. And that's one kind of anger. That's the selfish kind of anger. And we expect that of 2-year-olds. But then there's anger that could be, we call it outwardly triggered. Something happens that makes you angry. And sometimes we call that justifiable anger. We saw a lot of people get angry over the summer about some of the racial injustices that were happening. And those protests and all those people marching and protesting and showing up to show their viewpoint and to fight for what they believe is right. Those are excellent examples of justifiable anger. So think about that and write a sentence or two. You can do it right in Teams. You know how to do that. You use the draw tool, and then you can just get a little box and type right in there. And, write a sentence or two about justifiable anger or selfish anger and how these are different. Because understanding that will help you recognize what kind of anger is going on in you when you're not feeling so great. And there's our exit ticket. We'll get back to that. And here's our lesson. So today, mixed number multiplication, okay? We are going to need to convert these mixed numbers. A mixed number is when we have a whole number and a fraction. Okay, so we're going to convert those mixed numbers to improper fractions. Then we can easily multiply. And before we multiply, we will always look to see if there's some cross simplification that we can do. So let's take some note paper, okay? And I want to talk, just kind of remind us about converting a mixed number to an improper fraction. So number one is 1 8/13. And this is the way Mrs. Gold likes you to write fractions. And then up and down, just like the 8/13 is. I don't like to use that X for multiplication because I'm getting you ready for algebra. So we'll use the dot. So 1 8/13 multiplied by 3 1/4. So let's look at the 1 8/13. We're going to convert that to an improper fraction. An improper fraction is a fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator. An improper fraction always represents more than 1. So we're going to take, we have 1 8/13. So the denominator will always stay the same. But we multiply 13 times 1 and we add the 8. So I can represent it like this. 13 times 1 plus 8. So 13 times 1 is 13, and 13 plus 8 is 21. So that's 21 over 13. Now let's look at this 3 1/4. So keep the denominator the same. 3 times 4 plus 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 more is 13. So now we've got our two improper fractions. 21 over 13 and 13 over 4. Now we can multiply those together. 21 over 13 times 13 over 4. We're multiplying. Don't be tempted. We're not flipping and finding the reciprocal. That's when we divide. This is multiplication. So we look to see if we have a relationship between the cross products, the 21 and the 4 and the 13 and the 13. And if we do, we simplify. Well, the 21 and the 4 is not a factor of 21. So I can't simplify there, but I do have 13 and 13. So I'm going to divide each one of those by 13, which simplifies them as much as they can be simplified, which gives us 21 times 1 is 21, and 1 times 4 is 4. Now, we've got an improper fraction. The numerator is greater than the denominator. So how do we handle that? Well, we'll divide the numerator by the denominator, and 4 into 20 goes 5 times, because 5 times 4 is 20, with 1/4 left over. And you'll notice the remainder becomes the new numerator, and the divisor becomes the new denominator. And this is our final answer. So 21 over 4 equals 5 1/4. So let's go back to our paper. And we'll put the answer there, and we'll put the answer in the next problem. So 5 1/4 times 3 1/5. So 5 1/4 will equal 5 times 4 plus 1. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21/4, as we know from up here. So now we're just going in the other direction. And 3 1/5 will be 5 times 3, and we put it in parentheses because we do that first, plus 1, which equals 16/5. So our problem will be 21/4 times 16/5. And I do see a nice opportunity for simplifying there. 4 is a factor of 16, so 4 divided by 4 is 1. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 21 times 4 is 84. And 5 times 1 is 5. And we have an improper fraction, so we'll divide 84 by 5. And 8 divided by 5 is 1. Subtract 5. We have 3 left over. 34 divided by 5 is 6, because 6 times 5 is 30, with 4 left over. So 16 4/5 is our final answer. And we'll put that on our paper. And we'll insert that into number 3. And let's go back to our notebook paper. And we'll work on number 3, which is 1 1/5 times 16 4/5. Now, 1 1/5, we'll convert that to an improper fraction. Same denominator. So for the numerator, 5 times 1 plus 1, which equals 5 times 1 is 5, plus 1 more is 6. And 16 4/5, students, we already know what that is. We have that right here. That's 84/5. I will rewrite it. So fifths on the bottom. 5 times 16 plus 4, which is 84/5. Okay, now we multiply 6/5 times 84/5. Okay, and I don't, no, 5 is not a factor of 84. Okay, we're going to have to do some multiplication. 5 times 5 is 25. And 84 times 6, I'll do that sidebar over here. 84 times 6. 6 times 4 is 24. And I didn't make the dot here, I did make the X. 6 eighths are 48, and 2 is 50. 48, 50. Okay, 504/25. Now, it's definitely an improper fraction, so let's find out what it is as a mixed number. We'll divide 25 into 504. And 25 into 50 goes 2 times, because 2 times 25 is 50. And 25 does not go into 4, so it'll be 0, and we have 4/25 left over. So that equals 20 4/25. And that's our answer. And we'll put that on number 4. Okay, so let's continue on with number 4. 20 4/25 times 5/8. So 20 4/25. 25 is our numerator. 20 times 25 plus 4, which gives us 504 over 25. And then we'll take that and we'll multiply that times 5/8. And we can do quite a bit of simplifying here. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 504 divided by 8 is 63. That gives us an answer of 63 over 5. And if we divide 63 by 5, five times 2 is 10. We have 3/5 left over. That equals 12 3/5. So number 4, 12 3/5. All right, which we will multiply by 5/9. And I've set that problem up for us already. So 12 3/5, we convert. 12 times 5 plus 3, which is 63/5, which we multiply by 5/9. And 5 and 5 cancel. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 63 divided by 9 is 7. So the answer is 7. And now we'll multiply 7 times 2.5. And we can give a denominator of 1. And the 2.5 we will convert to an improper fraction. So we have 2 times 2 plus 1, which is 5 over 2. So 7 over 1 times 5 over 2. There's nothing to simplify. That comes out to 35 over 2. 35 divided by 2 is 17 with 1 left over. So 17 1/2. And we'll put that on the line for number 7. So that will be number 7, 17 1/2 times 1 3/10. So 17 1/2 is 17 times 2 plus 1, which is 17 times 2 is 34, plus 1 is 35, over 2, 1 3/10. 10 times 1 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So we have 35 over 2 times 13/10. Excuse me, that should be a 35. Now we can simplify by dividing 10 and 35 by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Now we multiply across. 7 times 13 is 91. And 2 times 2 is 4. Now, if we divide 91 by 4, 91 divided by 4 is 22 with 3 left over. So 22 3/4. And we'll put that on the line for number 8. And let's get cracking with number 8. So 8 over 91 times 22 3/4. Now remember that 22 3/4 equates to 91 over 4. So let's rewrite that problem. 8 over 91 times, and again, let's look at that, 91 over 4. And this problem is about to get really easy because 91 divided by 91 is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. The final answer is 2. And now we're on number 9, getting near the end. 2 times 3 and 3/8. So I've set us up. Let's convert that 3 and 3/8. So in the numerator, we'll have 3 times 8 plus 3. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 3 is 27, 27/8. So 2 over 1 times 27 over 8. And 2 is a factor of 8. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And 27/4 is our answer. We will convert that to an improper fraction by dividing 27 by 4. We know that 6 times 4 is 24, with 3/4 left over. And we don't just stop there, we do want to check this answer. So let's multiply 6 3/4 by 1 2/5. So 6 3/4 we know is 27/4. And 1 2/5 we will convert. So 5 times 1 plus 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7/5. And there's nothing to simplify. So we're going to have to multiply straight across. 27 times 7 equals 189. 4 times 5 is 20. And let's turn this into a mixed number. It's already an improper fraction because we will divide 189 by 20. And we know that I'll try 9. 9 times 20 is 180, with 9/20 left over. And let's see if our answer checks. And it does. So let's go back to the exit ticket. When I multiply mixed numbers, it is best to convert the mixed numbers to improper fractions. Before I simplify, it's that cross simplifying that we do, and multiply across. And that makes our job much easier. So those are some hard problems. You've worked very hard today. Please make sure you turn your camera on, hold your paper up, show me your work. I like to see what you're doing in your own handwriting. That helps me to know if you're understanding what you're doing. Please, please practice. Continue to work hard in school. I'm so proud of you. And as always, with practice, you'll be great.